Hey guys, in this tutorial I'm going to be covering the rain floor material. This has been inspired by Josh Treviziel. I hope I've said your name right. I followed his tutorial to originally create the material. I'm going to put a link to his channel so that if you guys want to follow him instead you can. But I've taken his material and I've broken it down a little bit further and I've made it Vertex paintable, so that rather than using a mask to control where the puddles are, we can get an object and we can paint our details onto it any way that we wish, from wet patches to entire puddles. And this is what we're going to cover today. I'm not going to show you how to create the actual flipbook. I am going to provide you guys with that. Josh goes over how to create this in great detail using After Effects. I followed it. It's very, very detailed, and it's very good. I suggest that you go check him out if you want to make your own flipbook. So we're going to hop into this. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring out my little testing plane. Now, what we need to do is we need to create a material for this. So right click material, rain underscore M. Now, essentially what we need to do is we need to create a way of painting. So I'm actually going to grab a Vertex color node because this is what we're going to use. And I'm just going to make 3 constants just to show you guys how this works. I'm going to create a red and a blue and a green. And now what we're going to do is we're going to create a couple of lerps. Make 3 lerps. Now we're going to get the red vertex color, the green and the blue, and place these into the alphas. And then the red is our initial, so it's going into both A and B. And we're taking that lerp into the A, the green into the B, this lerp into the A, and the blue into the B. And if we plug this into base color and we apply it, place this on here now, and we select that paint mode, we go to blend weights, change this to RGB, we can paint in the 3 different colors that we chose. You'll notice that because we're using blend weight, it's blending the outside, so you notice that the red is going into purple, then into blue. Similarly, we're getting this brown orangey color between the red and the green. This is what we're going to want to make a nice dithering effect around our rain. So we're going to go back into this, and I'm just going to quickly delete all of this. Excuse me. And now we are going to begin. So the first thing that we're going to build is the actual flipbook. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click. Oops. We need a flipbook node. Okay. Now what we're going to want is we're going to want a time node. We're just going to put this into the animation phase because we want it to animate over time. Going to hold 1 and left click for a constant and plug this both into the number of rows and number of columns. Now I know that I have 8 rows and 8 columns, so basically you're telling the flipbook how big it is, and it will divide the image into this amount of sections on rows and columns. Next, hold U and left click for a texture coordinate, hold S and left click for a scalar parameter, and we're going to call this rain UV scale. Hold M and left click. Oops. Rain UV scale. It's going to be one of those days. Hold M and left click for multiply, and we're going to multiply these two together. I'm going to start this at a 10. Now we're going to add a fractal node, so frac. And we're going to add this to the UVs. Okay, so this is our flipbook control. Next we want to get our raindrop sequence and bring this in. Take the UVs and plug this into here. Oops. Start previewing is the one I want, and now you can see that they're animating. Okay, very nice. So we'll stop previewing this now. Now we don't actually want to be able to, well, we need to add an intensity, but we only need the parts that actually animate. So if we open up this texture, if I disable the red and green channels, you'll see the blue is just white. Okay, if I turn off the blue and just add green, you'll notice that this is where we have our details. Similarly, if we just turn on red, we have similar details. So it's the red and green that combined that are actually making the animation. Those are the bits that are creating the actual normals. So we're going to component mask the R and the G, hold M and left click for a multiply, and S and left click for a scalar. And this is going to be our rain intensity. We're going to start this out at 0.5. Excuse me. Now we're going to append when we re-add the blue back in. Okay, so if we start previewing this, notice it's doing its thing, and if we change this we should get, yeah, you notice how much harder they are now, and now they're much softer. Okay, so this is what we need. So for now we'll leave that alone. No, we won't. We'll quickly right click, create a switch, not this one. There it is, the static switch parameter. Okay, and we're just going to plug this into the false. We're just going to rename this rain. Oops. In puddles. I'm going to just set its default value to true now. And next we're just going to work on another small area. So hold U and left click for texture coordinate, and then S and left click for scalar. We're going to call this wave scale. And then we are going to multiply this together. Just going to default this at 1. And now we're going to hold P and left click for panner, place this into the coordinate. We're going to set this panner to 0.1 on the X and 0 on the Y. And then we're going to grab the water underscore normal, plug this into the UVs, and if we quickly, oops, keep clicking the wrong thing today. If we quickly start previewing this, this is what we get. Start the preview. Now we are going to we're going to subtract, place the wave scale into A, and change the B to 0.25. So we want to have a slightly different size, and we're going to multiply this into the B, the texture coordinate into the A. We're going to have another panner. We're going to change this one though, so that 0.1 is in the Y. Copy and paste this texture sample, place that in there. And now we're just going to quickly create a time node. Hold S and left click for a scalar. We call this wave speed. Speed. We can just default this to 1 as well. We'll multiply these together. Hold M and left click. And we're going to plug this into the time node of both of the panners. Now we're going to combine both of these. We're going to do this is with some add nodes. So you want to take the red from both and add them together, the green from both and add them together, and the blue from both and add those together. Then we will append the red and the green. Then we shall hold S, create a scalar parameter. This is going to be the wave intensity. Going to default this to 1 as well. We're going to multiply this. And we know that only the red and the green channels are affecting the intensity, same as the raindrops. So we're just going to multiply those, and we'll get another append and reintroduce the blue. Okay, so now we have some nice waves. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to start building together the actual ground material. So we'll grab our diffuse or albedo, hold U and left click for our UV scalar, and we're going to call this ground scale, and multiply this together. I've just changed that to ground scale. There we are. I'm going to default this to 1. Put this in, and then we're going to get the asphalt normal. We want it to have exactly the same scale, so we'll plug this into this as well. Just move this up, so I'm going to need a bit more space. Okay, now this diffuse can go directly into the base color, so we're never going to do anything with that. Next, we're going to start actually putting together some of the fun stuff where we start blending it together. Okay, so this bit's a bit more complicated. It's going to get very spaghetti. So, as before, we need a vertex color, because we're going to be painting onto different channels. So, the first thing that we're going to do is the first thing that we're going to do. Well, before we do this, we will blend angle corrected normals, and we want to place this into our Boolean parameter into the base, and the appended into the additional, if we start previewing this, oh, we have no, what is that? Skip that one for now. And you can notice that we're getting both the waves and the raindrops in there. So we'll just stop previewing that. Put this in here. Now we haven't got a true status. To do this, we're going to have to blend some more. So we're going to hold 3 and left click. Now we're going to set this to just blue, which on a normal is just flat. So we're going to use this. We're going to need a lerp, so hold L and left click for a lerp. We're going to plug this into the true. Basically, we're going to be using this to create a mask to tell it where the puddles are. Now I'm going to be setting up puddles to be in the blue channel, but I'm going to need to 1 minus this. Oh, yeah. You can type 1 minus, or you can hold O and left click on the keyboard for this. Okay. What this is doing is it's inverting the blue channel. So blue channel by default would be all white here, but instead it's all black. We want it to start black in this case because we want the white areas of the mask to be where we've painted. So we're going to flip that, we're going to clamp it to make sure that it stays within a certain range. Then we are going to place this into our alpha of the lerp. We're going to add this append that we've plugged into false. It is going to go into the A of the lerp, and the blue is just going to go into the B. So now it will only rain where we place our puddles. Okay. So that's fine. Now we need to start adding in some more of the channels. Now, as before, we're going to need some lerps. We're going to need quite a few of them. I'll just do them one by one. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take this clamp and plug it into the alpha of the first lerp. No. Sorry, as my example, I have much spaghetti, so much spaghetti. Let's do we'll do the red, which is the initial. So we're going to take red, and we want the initial normal to just be the floor normal. So if we paint in red, we just get regular floor, okay? Which is fine, that's what we want. Next up, we are going to plug this into the B of the next, along with the green channel for the alpha. Beg your pardon, the A of this goes into the A. Break that link really quick. With the green alpha. Okay, and the B is going to be made up of a dithered mask. So we need another lerp for this. And this lerp is going to have the base blue in A, regular normal in B, and the clamp in the alpha. This then goes into the B. And now we're going to lerp again. Same as before. This goes into the A. We're going to take the blue as it is and place it into the alpha. And then we're taking this result and placing this into B. Okay. And now we can plug this into the normal. There's just one more thing that we need to do here, and that is to create a roughness so that we actually get some nice shine on our puddles. And we're going to do that using the same clamp as before. So drag from the clamp. We are going to love this. We're using this as the alpha, not the A, so plug it into the alpha. This is going between a value of 0 and 0.01. And then we are going to love this again. We're going to put a constant 1 in the B, and the alpha is going to be our red channel. And then we'll plug this into the roughness. Okay. Now we'll try testing it. So you'll notice that we have quite a large mess going on here. Okay. You'll notice that we do have our waves and our raindrops. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click this and create a material instance. We're going to place this on the plane instead. And now what we're going to do is we're going to just mess around with our values. So ground scale 6, nice ground scale. The rain UV, the raindrops seem fine. The wave scale is way up. So there you go. So that's 10. We're going to turn their intensity down to 0.3. The waves going a bit quick, so 0.4 on the waves. I'll just save that really quick. Okay, now if we choose a channel, we can start painting in. You'll notice that this is dry with no reflective lighting. And if we set it up correctly, then in 2 we should be able to just paint wetness. There we have it. And in 3 we should paint puddles with our rain. Now one thing to note is that if we paint this back in, and if we go into the material instance, if we turn off rain in puddles, then it will have raindrops everywhere. You can't quite see them because they're very, very fine. Oh no, there they are, you see them? So obviously we only want it to rain inside the puddles. But there you have it. A Vertex paintable rain material. I hope this has been helpful. As I say, I do suggest that you go check out Josh's channel. I will leave a link to that because without his help I wouldn't have been able to make this Vertex painting version. He's very good. I like the stuff that he makes, and he has been quite a large inspiration, I must admit. So for making the flipbook, please go check out his channel. I'm sure that he's made a Vertex paintable version of this as well. It's different from mine. He's using material functions, whereas I've just gone into the base material and just added the blend there. But as you can tell, it's very, very spaghetti. I'm looking forward to 4.15 because we're getting reroute nodes for materials, which is going to make things like this way less tangled and complex. Hopefully you've been able to follow this along, and hopefully this is something that you can use in your future projects. One thing I will add is that because we're painting on the vertices of an object, you'll notice that I have a lot of little dots here. You see lots and lots of dots. This is because if I go into our wireframe, it's actually a very, very dense mesh that I've created just for testing. It's very dense, it has lots of vertices. If we were to say go onto an object such as this, which has less verts, come on, there we go. It has less vertices, you notice it's only got verts on the corners. Then you're going to get a much less paintable area, so it's going to be a lot harder for you to get the exact layout that you would want. So just remember that when vertex painting, you're literally painting the vertices. So it's the vertices that are going to control where the detail is and the way that they blend. So that's the rain floor material. I do hope that that's of some use. Please check out Josh's channel. I'll leave a link to him in the description, as well as a folder of all the textures that you're going to need to recreate this. I'm not giving you the materials because I believe you should make them yourself, because it's good practice, and because I've shown you how to do it. It's not overly complicated. So yeah, I'll give you everything you need to actually make it. I'll even put the plane in there so you can use the plane. And it's just there on my Google Drive. So I will see you guys next time.